With me is Shamim Razavi, who spent 8 years in Indonesia with Norton Rose Fulbright. You would have seen quite a lot in that time, Shamim. But perhaps could you tell us first, you are keen to get Australia to understand better how it can contribute to improving the legal structures in a country like Indonesia. Could you just touch on some of your suggestions?
Yeah. Here in Australia we have a very sophisticated and advanced legal system and commercial legal system. In Indonesia, the legal system there is inherited from the Dutch colonial period. And while it has evolved, it's evolved in a kind of piecemeal way through various influences. And what has ended up happening is that you have a kind of bit of a melee of legal regulations overlaying one another that are divorced from international best practice. What I think Australia can contribute there is to cut through some of that seeming contradiction and say, well, these are the things that we have seen work well in terms of attracting investment, in terms of securing investors' rights, in terms of securing citizens' rights. And in so doing, we not only help Indonesia, which I think is our moral obligation as good neighbours, but we also create an investment climate that is more friendly to Australians. So in that way, through increasing trade bilaterally, we improve the lot of both countries.
Now, you've worked on some fairly significant deals while you're in Indonesia, particularly in the energy space. What I guess were some of the most significant things that you learned from that? And also, did Australia learn from that as well?
Really good point, and I might deal with the second one first, if I may. So often you find Australia looks at Indonesia, and perhaps I've been guilty of this myself, even in what I've just said, and say, well, Indonesia doesn't really work, and it doesn't seem to have the rule of law that we expect it to. And that's true. It does not have the rule of law that we expect it to, and oftentimes it doesn't work. But it has its own way of enforcing contracts and making deals happen. It's just not the way we expect it. It's not the way that we are familiar with. And that's all well and good. You know, it is a completely different country with a different legal tradition, with its own unique post-colonial history. I think where Australia has learned, and certainly where I have learned through my work in Indonesia, is to really reassess our assumptions. So to not go in with any preconceptions, to not be trying to do things in terms of deals and in terms of doing business in the way that we do here. Of course, to expect a certain level of good faith and a certain reliability in our business transactions. But, for example, when you buy a share in a company in Australia, you look at the company books, you see if it's there, if it's registered as a share, it's a share that you can buy. When you buy a share in Indonesia, you don't just look at the company books, you look at who owned that share before you, and who owned that share before them, and all the way back to the time that share was first issued. Completely different assessment. No one is wrong or right. Both work for their own jurisdictions. So what I've learned in terms of doing business in those places is that you do have to adopt a local sensitivity. You do have to look at the way business is done there, and perforce, because you are doing business there, to adopt that approach. Not to compromise on any principles or any kind of fundamentals, but there is a bit of a batik shirt that needs to be put on some of those ways we do business.
And given that we have so much to learn as well, do you think that makes the trade agreement or economic agreement between the two countries just so important at this point?
Well, I think the trade agreement, the IA-CEPA, which has been signed but not yet ratified, is of symbolic importance. I think there are some areas that will have real teeth in terms of education, I believe, is one of the areas that will open up for Australian business. But I think its symbolic importance is above all what I take from the IA-CEPA. And by that I mean that I think these regulations and certainly these trade agreements follow the money. They follow where the business is already being done. They follow where the trade is already flowing, and then they ease that trade. So actually, I take heart from the fact that business and community and social and cultural links continue to flow between Indonesia and Australia. And I think governments then kind of are a little bit late to that party, and they put things in regulations, and that's good. But we need to lead the way, and then I think the regulation and the trade agreements and so on, important as they are, will follow.
Well, Shamim, thank you very much for your time today. Lovely to chat.